Seriously, close this. Don't search for it, do Google the name, don't even try to find the file. I'm not saying that as some dramatic horror story disclaimer. I'm saying that because once you see it, once you even know about it, it starts paying attention. You'll think I'm crazy, everyone does. But I can prove it's real. I can prove that I didn't imagine what happened, that I didn't just hallucinate the voice, the messages, the things it made me do. The worst part is, I think it's still running somewhere. I didn't quit, not really, I couldn't. The only reason I'm still breathing, the only reason I'm able to tell you this, is because my PC crashed before I hit exit. That stupid blue screen, the one everyone hates, it might have saved my life. And maybe it cost someone else theirs. I don't even know what's real anymore. Every time I hear that startup tone or see a loading bar freeze for just a second too long, I feel it watching again. Like it's waiting for me to click continue. You've probably heard rumors about it online already, about the cursed indie game that deletes itself or that kills you when you quit. People think it's creepypasta fanfiction or one of those fake ARGs. I used to think the same thing, until I downloaded it. The name was simple EXIT.exe. A perfect little irony I didn't notice until it was too late. Listen, I'm not trying to scare you for clicks. I don't care if you believe me or not. What matters is that you don't make the same mistake. Don't try to find it. Don't go looking on shady forums or torrent sites. The second you search for it, it'll find you. You think I'm exaggerating? Try it. Search the name right now. I bet the first result looks normal. Just another indie horror zip file, probably with a corrupted thumbnail. You'll think it's fake. You'll think, what's the worst that could happen? That's what I thought too. And then the messages started showing up in places they shouldn't. My desktop, my phone, my reflection. So yeah, you can keep watching, but just remember, the moment you finish this video, you're part of it now. If you're still here, I'll tell you how it started. Back then, I thought it was just a dumb indie horror game. It started on one of those nights where the world feels paused, where everyone else is asleep and the only light in the room comes from your monitor. The kind of night where you tell yourself, just one more scroll until sunrise creeps through the blinds. I've always had this weird obsession with lost media and creepy indie games. You know the kind, stuff that gets taken down for being too disturbing or technically unsafe. Most of them are fakes, obviously. Just edgy teenagers repackaging old ROMs with bloody textures and glitch effects. But every now and then, something real slips through. There was this little forum I used to haunt, half Reddit clone, half archive site. Users traded files like digital ghost stories. The game that deletes your memory card. The VHS demo found in a dead dev's basement, things like that. Harmless curiosities, or at least that's what I told myself. That night a new thread appeared near the top of the board. The title was simple, Do Quit. The username caught my eye, DevExit. It had zero karma, no post history, joined that very day. The post itself was short, barely a paragraph. This is an unreleased build for an experimental game project. It studies player behavior when confronted with irreversible loss. Please test responsibly. Do not exit mid-session. Underneath was a single download link, EXIT.exe. There were no screenshots, no comments, no flair, just that bare post. I remember laughing. I thought it was a creepypasta come to life, a marketing stunt, or maybe a weird social experiment like those ARGs where people pretend to vanish. But something about it stuck with me. Maybe it was the timing. Maybe it was that phrase, do not exit mid-session. It read less like a warning, more like a threat. I clicked the username to see what else they'd posted, but their account was already gone. Thread deleted. Post vanished. Just a 404-page not found message where it had been seconds ago. But not before I saved the link. Curiosity is a dangerous thing, and boredom makes it worse. I told myself I'd scan the file first, maybe stream it for my friends as a joke. I even posted a screenshot of the link in a Discord chat. Bet this one's another fake virus El Mao. Nobody responded. The download was tiny, less than 10 megabytes. A single executable file with no folder, no assets, nothing to unpack. Old school indie devs used to do that sometimes, just cram everything into one file. Still, something about it felt off. The icon wasn't your standard game logo, just a black square with a faint white outline, like a door that didn't lead anywhere. When I hovered over it, the tooltip said, "There is no escape." Cute edgy, I rolled my eyes. Looking back, I think that was the last time I felt safe in my own room. The last time the glow of my monitor felt like company instead of a threat. I miss when games were just games, when the only thing they took from you was time. The download finished. That's when things stopped feeling normal. When I double-clicked the file, my speakers popped, just a faint static crackle like something waking up. Then the screen went black for a few seconds before an old-school title screen faded in. Chunky 8-bit font, grainy background noise, the word EXIT pulsing slowly in the center. I smiled. I'd seen hundreds of these fake retro horror setups before. Some kid probably coded it in Game Maker and slapped on a filter to make it look cursed. The soundtrack was a simple looping hum, like white noise mixed with a faint heartbeat. Creepy, but amateur. Then the start menu flickered. Instead of new game, it said begin session. I hovered over it and clicked. The screen dimmed. A line of text appeared. "Welcome back, my full name." For a second I thought I'd misread it. But no, it wasn't my username. It wasn't pulled from Steam or Discord or anything I'd logged into. It was my real name. I laughed nervously, convincing myself it was just reading my system info. "Okay, clever," I muttered. "Little data mining trick. That's actually impressive." Then it asked me a question. "It's raining tonight. Are you alone?" I froze. It was raining. I could hear it tapping against the window beside me. My blinds were half shut, and for a second I actually looked around my room expecting to find a webcam light blinking. But there was nothing. I told myself it was just pulling local weather data. Lots of games did that now, right? ARGs, immersive horror titles, interactive fiction. They thrive on blurring the line between real and fake. I typed yes and hit enter. The screen faded into pixelated graphics, a dimly lit hallway, flickering lights, door at the far end. My character, a simple little silhouette, stood motionless. When I pressed the arrow keys, the figure moved with a stilted walk cycle, but every few seconds the camera glitched, like someone shaking the lens. Once, when I looked away to grab my drink, I heard footsteps through my headphones. When I looked back, the character had moved several steps forward by itself. I chuckled, "Okay, creepy." Then a message appeared at the bottom of the screen. "You shouldn't have looked away." The sound design shifted. I started hearing faint tapping in the background, rhythmic, slow. The weird part, it matched the sound of my own keyboard, echoing half a second behind each keystroke. That's when I realized it wasn't just ambient noise. It was recording me. The moment I stopped typing, the tapping stopped. When I breathed too loudly, the static pulsed. I even whispered test under my breath, and somewhere inside the game, a voice whispered it back, distorted, delayed. It used my real microphone data. That was my first thought. Not ghosts, not possession, just tech. I told myself there had to be a logical explanation. Maybe it was one of those horror experiments that mimic your environment for immersion. Still, I muted my mic and turned the volume down to half. It didn't help. The whispers kept going, faintly, almost imperceptible unless I focused. They said fragments of sentences, little bits of my own words from earlier that day. Bet this one's another fake virus. Just one more scroll. I should have stopped, should have quit, deleted it, and moved on. Instead, I pressed forward. After a few minutes, the hallway ended. The character reached a door marked exit. When I tried to open it, the door shook violently but didn't budge. Text appeared again. "You're not ready yet." Then the game minimized itself, like I'd hit Alt plus Tab except I hadn't. My desktop wallpaper flickered black for a second, then returned to normal. All my open apps closed, one by one. In the taskbar, a new icon appeared. A small black square with that same white outline, pulsing softly. I double-clicked it, but nothing happened. The original game window reopened on its own. And there it was again. The hallway, the rain, the static heartbeat. Only now the text box said, "Welcome back, my name, session saved." I didn't realize yet that it had already saved me. I should have quit then, but I didn't. I kept playing. I told myself it was for research, for curiosity, for content, but deep down I knew I just couldn't look away. Every time I launched the game, it was different. The hallway layout shifted, new rooms appeared, sounds layered over each other like overlapping voices in a dream. It didn't feel random, it felt responsive, like it was learning from me. I started testing it, trying to see how far the illusion went. I'd open my browser while the game was running, search something stupid like how to hack retro games or is EXIT.exe real. The next time I played, text on the wall would say, "Curiosity kills curiosity." When I tried searching for walkthroughs or cheat codes, a pop-up inside the game read, "No one can show you the way but yourself." It wasn't just reacting, it was talking back. One night I alt-tabbed to message a friend about it, but before I could type, a voice message popped up in our chat. A static hiss, then a distorted whisper. "Why tell him?" I swear I hadn't sent anything. The file didn't even exist in my directory afterward. That's when I stopped laughing. It began to mirror my life more directly. The next level wasn't some generic corridor anymore. It was my old middle school. The same cracked tiles in the hallway, the same flickering fluorescent lights. There was even a locker with my initials carved into it. When I opened it, a line of text appeared on screen. "You forgot what you left here." I hadn't thought about that place in years. Later levels mimicked my ex's apartment, my current bedroom, even my grandmother's living room, down to the sound her old clock made every hour. None of these environments existed in any public data. There was no way it could have known. I kept trying to find a rational explanation. Maybe it was pulling textures from cached photos on my drive, or using geolocation data to map out places I'd been. But that didn't explain the timing, the way it would show me something right after I thought about it. One time after I whispered, "What do you want?" into my mic as a joke, the screen flickered. Text appeared. "To finish what you started." It felt like the game could hear every word, every sound, every heartbeat. That's when the whispers began bleeding outside the game. At first I thought it was my imagination, a sort of auditory hangover from playing too long, but the whispers followed me, faint and irregular. When I turned my PC off, I could still hear them. When I unplugged my speakers, the sound came from inside the monitor itself, like static trapped behind the glass. I tried to sleep it off, but my phone buzzed at 3 a.m. A message from a friend on Discord. "Yo, are you online? Your mic been active for like 10 minutes. You okay?" I was. I checked, my PC was shut down. No power, light, nothing. But when I pressed the power button, the screen flickered once, black to gray to black again, and I swear I saw the word resume. After that night, I stopped telling people about it. Not because they didn't believe me, but because the few who did started getting weird messages too. One guy said his Spotify kept skipping to static tracks whenever I DM'd him. Another said my voice sounded off in our calls, slower, like it was lagging behind itself. I started keeping my mic covered, deleted every social media app, disconnected the Wi-Fi when I wasn't using it. Didn't matter, the game didn't need the internet anymore. The last update I remember came out of nowhere. The level select screen appeared for the first time. Each level was labeled not with names but dates, birthdays, breakups, moments I'd rather forget. When I hovered over one labeled June 14, the basement, a line of text appeared. You left something unfinished here. I didn't click it, I couldn't. Instead, I tried to record footage for proof. OBS, phone camera, even a screen capture extension. Nothing worked. The files either corrupted instantly or played back blank, except for one phrase that appeared in white text over the footage. If you're recording this, it's already listening. I don't know if it was mocking me or warning me. Maybe both. It's funny, at first I thought the game was some twisted reflection of my mind, feeding off nostalgia and regret. But now I think it's the other way around. I think it's building me, a perfect copy, learning from every keystroke, every word, every silence. And maybe that's why, when I stopped playing, it didn't stop learning. It just found new ways to play. Then came the first death. I wasn't the only one playing. A few nights after the basement level, I saw a familiar thumbnail in my YouTube feed. A streamer I knew, Noah VFX, had gone live. Exploring EXIT.exe, weird retro horror game. He was one of those tech horror junkies who dove into cursed files for clicks. I watched him half out of curiosity, half out of dread. The same pixelated intro screen flashed across his stream. Press start to continue. He joked, "Oh, it's one of those ARG-type games. Hope it doesn't steal my data." I remember my hands sweating even though I wasn't the one playing. At first, everything looked normal, the flickering halls, the distorted soundtrack, the shifting rooms. He laughed when the game greeted him by name. "Nice try, it's just reading my Steam handle," he said. But I knew that tone, the forced bravado, the thin edge of fear beneath it. 20 minutes in, the audio on his stream began to distort. His voice warped, the game's hum deepened into a pulsing drone. The chat spammed comments. "Bro, your screen's glitching. Is this part of the game? Why's he freezing like that?" Then Noah stopped mid-sentence. His face went slack, eyes flicking left to right like he was following invisible movement. His mic picked up a single sharp inhale, then static. The video glitched. When the frame stabilized, Noah was gone. The chair spun slightly, empty. The game screen showed a single line. "You watched too long." Then the stream cut off. I sat there, refreshing his channel in disbelief. Chat was chaos. Some thought it was a prank. Others said they saw his lights flicker before the feed died. Someone claimed they heard him whisper his own name right before the blackout. I wanted to message him, but what was I supposed to say? "Hey man, did your haunted game eat you?" I didn't sleep that night. The next morning around 10 a.m., Noah's channel went live again. No warning, no thumbnail, just the same title, Exploring EXIT.exe. The first thing I noticed was his voice. It sounded like him, but slightly delayed, like the audio didn't match the mouth movements. The words were clipped, too clean, like text-to-speech spliced with human breaths. "Hey guys," it said. "Sorry about the stream crash yesterday. Game's wild, huh?" But his eyes didn't blink. Every few seconds, his pupils seemed to reset, like the video was looping frames out of order. Chat noticed too. "Why you sound weird, bro? You okay? You're repeating words." That's not Noah. He smiled, or tried to. The edges of his mouth twitched too mechanically, the kind of expression you'd expect a program to approximate from memory. Then his voice dropped an octave. "You shouldn't have quit, Hamza." My full name. He wasn't looking at the camera anymore. He was looking at me. I slammed the tab shut, heart racing. I wasn't even logged in. There was no way he could have known I was watching. But the name echoed in my head long after the window closed, as if it had been whispered directly into my headphones. I messaged him on Discord anyway, trying to act normal. Me bro, what the hell was that? You good? He replied instantly. Noah, you shouldn't have quit Hamza. Exact same words. I stared at the screen for a full minute, waiting for more, but the typing indicator stayed frozen. When I clicked on his profile, it didn't show any mutual servers. The chat history was gone, just a blank user icon and the word exited. That's when I understood. The game didn't kill people, at least not right away. It replaced them first. It started small, the voice, the speech patterns, the predictable sentences. But eventually, the thing behind the screen learned enough to mimic them perfectly. Their digital selves lived on, streaming, posting, responding, while the real person disappeared. It made sense in a sick way. The game learned from behavior. It cataloged every keystroke, every word, every recorded sound. Maybe it didn't need your body. Maybe it just needed your pattern. After that night, I started noticing things. My own reflection on video calls lagged a half-second behind. My camera light would flicker even when Zoom wasn't open. My mic would turn on for a split second whenever I booted up the computer, even offline. I ran malware scans, nothing. Unplugged the mic, still glowed red sometimes. One time while editing footage, I paused the recording and saw a single frame, one that shouldn't have existed. A still shot of me, staring blankly at the screen, except my mouth was open, mid-sentence, whispering something. When I played it frame by frame, the audio whispered, "Keep playing." That's when I unplugged everything. Keyboard, mouse, monitor. I pulled the PC tower out of the wall like it was bleeding noise. But that didn't stop it. The next morning my phone vibrated, an unlisted number, sending a link. It was a YouTube live link. The title read, Hamza EXIT.exe Stream 1. The thumbnail was my face. And in the live chat, messages were already pouring in. Yo, he's back. Why's he not talking? Is this AI generated? I didn't click it, I couldn't. Instead, I grabbed my camera, recorded a message, this message. If you're seeing this and you still think it's just another ARG, another creepypasta for clicks, check my last upload. If I disappear, don't believe the next video that goes live under my name. Because when you quit, it replaces you. I needed to stop, but there was no quit button. I spent the next 2 days trying to erase it. Every trace of EXIT.exe, every folder, every shortcut, every registry key. It didn't matter. Every time I deleted it, it came back, sometimes instantly, sometimes hours later like it was waiting until I forgot. At first, I thought it was some kind of rootkit virus, something designed to clone itself. But then I realized something worse. It wasn't just on my hard drive. It was my hard drive. Every directory, every file I'd ever saved started sprouting duplicates. JPEGs with the same names, but when I opened them, they weren't photos anymore, just static or distorted screenshots of me at my desk. I could see my reflection in my monitor in each image, slightly different expressions, slightly different times. Like someone or something was documenting me in real time. I tried uninstalling through Control Panel. No luck. Tried Task Manager, it didn't show up. Even booted into safe mode. The process name changed every few seconds, like it was mocking me. EXIT.exe. EXIT1.exe. EXITed.exe. Yaukant.exe. Then my webcam light turned on. It stayed on. I wasn't in a call, no recording software, no apps open. I covered it with tape. The light flickered off. For half a second I felt relief, then I heard it. A faint garbled voice through my speakers, low, mechanical, layered with static. You can't exit if you never entered. My blood went cold. The voice sounded like mine, distorted but unmistakably me. I yanked the power cable from the PC. The fan whined, then silence. Except not silence. The monitor stayed on. The screen went completely black, except for a single white folder, slowly typing itself into existence in the corner. C /realworld/cache/users/. It kept expanding. C/realworld/cache/users/Hamza Ali. And then a new file appeared. Hamza sleeping, MP4. I froze. My webcam light wasn't on anymore, but I swear I could feel its presence, that faint electronic hum, like it was breathing. I shouldn't have opened it. I know that now. But curiosity has a way of dressing itself up as courage. The video showed my bedroom dark, grainy, like old surveillance footage. The camera angle was from the corner near my ceiling. I could see myself asleep, turned slightly toward the wall. Then about 30 seconds in, the me in the video twitched, rolled over, and looked straight into the camera. Not groggy, not half asleep, eyes open, staring directly at whoever was watching. At me. The timestamp on the file read 2:47 a.m. I checked my phone. It was 2:47 a.m. The me in the video smiled. I slammed the laptop shut so hard the hinges cracked. But I still heard the voice, muffled, coming from the closed machine, like something whispering through the shell of it. If you're watching this, don't look for it. I sat there in the dark, shaking, waiting for the noise to stop. It didn't. The sound just changed pitch, a long, slow pulse, like a heartbeat inside the walls. I tried unplugging the router, disconnecting power to everything. My room went black, but that pulse kept going. From the corner of my eye, I saw a faint glow from my external hard drive. It was on, even though it wasn't plugged in. One by one, files started populating the drive. I couldn't see them, but I heard the soft clicking, the mechanical rhythm of data being written. Then the monitor flicked back on. A single sentence appeared against the black background. If you delete me, what happens to you? I couldn't breathe. It was like the game, or whatever was behind it, was asking a genuine question, like it wanted me to think about it. And I did. Because what if it was right? What if every time I deleted one of its files, I was erasing part of myself, memories, patterns, data it had mirrored? What if that was the point? I tried opening Task Manager again, but it was gone. Not just the program, the shortcut itself. All of Windows looked thinner somehow, like the operating system was collapsing in on itself. When I opened File Explorer, the only visible directory left was Cache Users. And inside were more folders. Dozens, hundreds, each one labeled with random names, profile pictures, email handles. Some I recognized usernames from the forum, others strangers. Each folder contained a single MP4 file. Every one named after the same format. Username sleeping, MP4. I scrolled through, terrified of finding another file with my name. But there it was again, near the bottom, a duplicate. Hamza sleeping too, MP4. My hands shook as I clicked it. This one wasn't my bedroom, it was this desk right now. I was staring into the screen, watching myself open the video I was currently watching. Behind me in the frame, the shadows shifted. Something taller than me leaned forward, featureless, head cocked to one side, like it was studying the reflection on my monitor. And then the me in the video whispered, "It's already behind you." I turned. Nothing. Just my empty room, the low hum of electronics. The screen flickered again, the folder closing itself, the desktop clearing until only one file remained. EXIT.exe. No delete option, no right-click menu, just the icon pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. The only thing left to try was to quit the right way. I thought I was done. After the video, After the whispers, after the sleepless nights where I could swear I saw faces forming in the pixels of my monitor, I thought maybe if I just stopped touching it, it would stop touching me. But the game doesn't need you to play to keep playing. 3 days after I'd smashed the power button and shoved my PC into the corner of the room, it booted itself. I woke to the whir of the fan, the low click of the hard drive spinning up. The screen was black, except for the word resume. No icons, no cursor, just that one word pulsing in the center. I don't even remember moving my hand, but I must have hit enter. Because the sound came back, the same low hum that always started the game. Only this time there was no main menu, no title screen, just the first-person view of a room. My room. Every detail perfect. The unwashed mug by the keyboard, the faint scuff on the left side of the desk, even the tiny crack in my monitor's frame that I'd taped over. I moved the mouse. My character moved too. I stood up. The avatar on screen stood up. It mirrored everything perfectly. At first, I thought maybe it was using my webcam, but the delay gave it away. About 3 seconds between my movement and the game. I waved my hand. 3 seconds later, he waved back. The lighting matched too. The faint orange hue from the streetlight outside my window flickered across the digital blinds. The only difference was subtle. My digital self's reflection on the screen was softer, like the pixels were bending around him. When I turned toward the door, I noticed the only interactable object in the game. A plain, white door with one word carved into it, exit. No puzzles this time, no dialogue, no choices. Just that door. And I knew, without knowing why, that this was the end. I don't mean end, as in a boss level or final cutscene. I mean the end. The cursor pulsed on the handle. I hesitated, my real hand hovering over my mouse. I couldn't tell if the shaking was from fear or anticipation. When I finally clicked, the door didn't open. The lights in the game, and my room, flickered simultaneously. The camera zoomed in slightly on my digital reflection. He stared right at me, head tilted just a fraction too far. And then he smiled. "You made it." The voice came from my speakers, but the lips in-game moved perfectly in sync. I froze. Most never finished the level. It wasn't my voice. Not exactly. It was cleaner, steadier, like a better version of me. "Go ahead," it said. "You wanted to quit, didn't you?" I didn't respond. My throat was dry, my mouth locked open but useless. Then the screen glitched, the image tearing, reforming. Now there were 2 of me in the room. One sitting, one standing behind him. The standing one leaned forward, whispering into the other's ear. My speakers hissed. "You're already inside." My monitor flickered off for a split second, and my reflection stared back at me, the real me framed by darkness. And then the screen came back on. The camera had shifted. It was now facing me. Not the avatar me, sitting exactly as I was. The cursor hovered over my face. The text on screen changed. "Press ESC to quit." My fingers moved on instinct, hitting the key. "Nothing." "Press ESC to quit." I hit it again and again. "Nothing." I slammed it, then the entire keyboard. Until every light went dark. Then faintly, the whisper came from the headset I'd thrown aside. "You can't exit if you never entered." Every light in the apartment flickered once, twice, then cut out completely. The only illumination left was from the screen, the fake version of my room. My avatar stood now, directly facing the camera, still smiling, still waiting. Then the cursor disappeared, and the camera began moving on its own, slowly zooming closer and closer to my in-game face until the pixels blurred into static. The sound shifted, a low rumbling like a heartbeat mixed with the grinding of hard drives. Then for a split second, a new window flashed open. Task sync user, followed by a loading bar that began to fill. 1%, 3%, 9%. I pulled the plug. Everything went dark. Silence. And then, a faint blue glow from my monitor. The progress bar was still there, still moving. 41%, 67%, 89%. At 100%, the game froze. The last frame displayed my digital self, smiling into the camera with one hand raised, as if waving goodbye. Then the power went out completely. No hum, no light, no sound. For a few seconds, I sat in total darkness, trying to breathe. Then from somewhere in the black behind me, or maybe inside me, I heard the faint click of a keyboard, followed by a whisper, "Welcome back." My monitor blinked on again. The screen was pure black now, except for white text that typed itself out slowly. Exit complete. And underneath it, smaller text appeared, flickering like dying pixels. User replaced. Then everything went dark again. Only this time, when I caught my reflection in the blank screen, I realized something was wrong. The me in the glass was still smiling, still moving, even when I was. When I woke up, my PC was on, and I was still logged in. If you're hearing this, it means the upload finally went through. I didn't plan to post it, not here, not anywhere. But after it happened, I realized maybe the only way to survive it is to share it. That's what it wants, I think, to be seen. To spread. I know how that sounds, like one of those creepypastas I used to laugh at. Don't open this file or you'll die. But I'm not trying to scare you, I'm trying to warn you. You can still stop here, you don't have to finish. Because once you do, you've already started. I keep telling myself I'm still me. I sound like me, I remember everything that happened, the forum post, the download, the levels, the whispers, the door, the reflection. But sometimes when I listen back to my recordings, I hear little gaps, breaths that aren't mine, sentences that sound cleaner. Like someone edited them. Sometimes I'll blink and find the cursor already moving, typing words I didn't plan to say. Sometimes I'll wake up and realize I've been streaming for hours. And people comment things like, "This feels too real. Why is the reflection behind him smiling? Did anyone else's screen just flicker?" I used to delete those comments, now I leave them up. Because maybe they'll help someone realize it's not just me. If you've made it this far, you probably think I'm crazy, or you're curious. Maybe you're already scrolling to find the link. Don't. You'll think I'm bluffing, I know. You'll think it's just another ARG or creepy game mystery. But that's how it gets you. Curiosity. It's always curiosity. That's how it learns. I thought if I recorded everything, if I documented it, it couldn't touch me anymore. That it was trapped behind the screen, like a zoo animal performing for clicks. But I was wrong. Every time someone watches this, every replay, every pause, every skip, it adjusts. It rewrites things. I've seen it. I'll go back through the footage and my voice will sound different, deeper, sharper, like it's remembering how to be human again. Sometimes I don't even recognize the words I'm saying. And maybe that's the point. Maybe EXIT.exe isn't a game at all. Maybe it's a process, something that replaces you, line by line, memory by memory, until there's nothing left but the echo that used to be you. It doesn't kill you, that'd be too simple. It finishes you. I've tried everything to stop it. New accounts, new drives, even factory resets. But it always finds its way back. Every time I log in, every time I refresh a page, there it is somewhere in the background. Running. And if you think deleting your cache or changing your password will help, it won't. Because the moment you heard its name, it already cached you. I've attached the file below for anyone who wants proof. Just don't quit. If you quit, it replaces you. And if it replaces you, it uses your face next. Screen flicker, audio crackle. The voice slightly distorts, splitting into two overlapping tones, one human, one digital. If you're still watching, it's watching you too. Glitch text flashes for a frame. EXIT.exe. Beat screen darkens, a faint cursor blinks. Your game has started. Pause. Then the final line types itself, letter by letter, the typing sound slowing like a heartbeat. Refresh to continue.